Hello again everybody and a very warm welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the brand new WinWing EFIS for Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane and all that sort of thing. So hit like, hit subscribe, share your thoughts down in the comments section below and we'll take a look at this new piece of hardware. So the majority of this video is going to be focused on the flybywire A32NX, which as you can see we are in here at the moment at London Heathrow. Very wet, windy, horrible London Heathrow with live weather. Going to take this on a little test flight showing you firstly the WinWing FCU, which we're all quite familiar with now with its functionality matching the FCU on the aircraft in the sim, but now also the new EFIS. I've got the left one installed for my setup because of my honeycomb Bravo throttle on the right there, but I've also got the right hand side which works the same way, same principle, just gives you that flexibility based on your own personal sim setup. But first let's start with the unboxing. WinWing have graciously sent me both the left and the right kit, and they mimic the same sort of box and packaging, but obviously one is for the left hand side of your FCU, the other one is for your right hand side based on your hardware, as we've just said. Inside the packaging though, everything's all sealed and wrapped up. You've got the EFIS units, you've got a load of nuts and bolts, washers, screwdrivers, Allen keys, and you've also got the all important SATA cable to connect it to your FCU, and that is how you power this EFIS. And as you can see, the build quality is pretty good. Like the FCU, the mounts and the kind of tilted brackets that sit on the rear of the unit can be fixed depending on what sort of setup you've got and what your needs are at home. And just for a very quick comparison then, we've just had a look at the left hand unit, which is the one that I'm going to be installing and using today, but this is also the right hand side EFIS that you can install for those of you like the first officer type layout instead for your setup. Same principles apply, everything's basically in reverse. Looking back at the left hand unit then for installation, I've already attached the SATA cable. It's just a push fit, nice simple push fit with those channels included on either side based on how you want to set things up. And I'm going to use the same setup that I have for my FCU, and for that reason I'm putting the brackets, the mounts for the EFIS on the rear of the unit, and I'm starting with the one that's over the top of my SATA cable at the moment, so I can get that nice, snug, secure, and I can fit it nice and carefully. And then we repeat the same for the right hand side. Really easy, takes a few seconds, pretty much the same as the mounts on the WinWing FCU, so didn't even need instructions for these. There's a lot of other stuff included in the packaging, as you can see on the right hand side. At this point in time I'm not entirely certain what some of them are for, because there are no instructions at the moment for me, but I'm sure that will become clear at some point in the future, no doubt in an instruction manual that's on the WinWing FCU or WinWing website. Going to get aligned with the FCU that I've already got installed on my desk. Was quite easy thanks to the fact it's got those adjustable brackets for me to fiddle around with, so it gets nice and snug, or at least as snug as possible, and those double-sided sticky tape dots underneath on those brackets to get it stuck to the desk nice and firm as well. Didn't take very long at all. And then the rear, nice and easy, just connecting that SATA cable to the back of the FCU in the SATA port on that unit, and that's how it gets the power across. There's no additional USB cable to use here. Another really nice bonus to this bit of kit. The ADF levers and things are pull and flick, and you can see there it activates VOR1 and VOR2. Same with ADF 2 there, same with ADF 1 if you wish. Currently the Rose is in LS mode. We can flick that into VOR and nav, and you can also change the range ring, and this is plug and play, so straight out of the box working precisely how you'd expect it to, because all we've done is connected a SATA cable from the EFIS into the FCU. Really simple, and the Sim App Pro software from WinWing is working in the background. It's syncing both of those up. So the FCU works normally as it does with the Fenix A320, for example, as well, but you now also have QNH 1012, 1012. You can change the QNH and everything else as well. Pull into standard, push QFE, push again to QNH, pop constraints on, so on and so forth. So short video as intended, but it's going to be longer, no doubt, hopefully showing you all of the functions available for this new bit of hardware, which I'll put the link to the WinWing website in the description down below as well. So we're going to depart 09 left. Leap 1As do take a little while, and then we're just going to kind of put it to through its paces, using the FCU, speed heading modes, altitude selection, and we're going to go to standard pressure, change a few of the bits as well on the displays accordingly. So just taxiing out, we can change the brightness of the buttons by using the actual dials there on the aeroplane, and it'll now also update the EFIS as well as the FCU portion. Same with the actual displays as well, so you can turn them right down, change all the brightness, and it's reflected on the hardware down below as well, which is very good. So what we're going to do as a focus of this first kind of look for you guys is depart, use a bit of autopilot, so autopilot 1, 2 buttons there. You should see the auto throttle illuminates as well. We're going to change some headings, work through some of this, and then we're going to snap towards an approach where we're going to then flick into the ILS mode, and you guys can then see it in action flying back into Heathrow with very little visibility, because that's always quite fun. This is live weather as I'm recording this, which is always quite interesting. Some of you will remember before I've had the mini cockpit mini FCU, and I did a bit of a comparison video, or shared my thoughts between this and the mini cockpit's mini FCU, which is actually twice the price of this FCU here. So for this entire unit, plus the XBED button, which I've got though I haven't installed, you're still spending less money in total than you would be if you were buying a mini cockpit mini FCU. So you actually get a lot more for your money, and this is really good. Okie dokie, let's put it to the test. Rotate V2 into the P-suit, positive rate gear up, quite light today. There we go, autopilot 1 engaged now. Plus lever climb, and we're in nav mode. Compton 5 Juliet for this departure.
2,500.
So we're going to work through to 15,000 feet because we're going to rejoin via Honolulu and Soppit, 150 at Soppit, I think from memory, and we'll go from there. We can instantly now kind of extend our range ring to 20 if we want to, and we can see that reflected on the aeroplane. And as we go through 6,000 feet shortly, which will be quite soon to be fair, I'm just going to pull that to open climb now. Weight 6,000, we'll go to standard pressure. By the way, while we just wait, we can flick that to inches of mercury as well if we want to. It's got the collars on it, like the 100 and 1000 switches for the altitude selection there. But through 6,000, full standard, standard. And then we can just do our standby instruments on the aeroplane there as well by click of the button. Climbing up then. We're ignoring the altitude constraints, we're going straight to 15,000 feet. And what we can do is have a little look at some of these functionality buttons here, the display buttons on the EFIS. So currently on our nav display, we've got constraints selected, but if I now turn that to VOR DME, you see there at the top left we've got a VOR that's just popped into view, which is Odiham, or Odium, depending on how you pronounce it. And that's just about visible now, and we've got BSO that's just come into view further up near 305 degrees kind of bearing. In the version I've got, NDB currently selects waypoint and airports similar. Shows a couple of waypoints and things, but again that'll be a software patch which they will push out, I'm sure, at some point in the future. This is a kind of pre-launch version, and I'm not sure if anyone else has actually got access to this, at least from what I've found so far. So a little bit of work to be done, but I'm more than happy with what it can do. Certainly a lot of these functions I don't really tend to use that much, maybe airport at a push perhaps, but I tend to use constraint more than anything else. We can have a little look at LS button, we'll go through that in a little while. And again, functionality wise, we can use the FCU, pop into heading mode, and we can select speeds and everything if we wish as well. Alright, so we're closing back in on Heathrow now, 09 left this time, and we're ready for a sort of Cat 2 ILS. We'll just see what happens. Still, as always, intend to hand fly the last little bit if visibility allows. I'm going to work down towards 3,000 feet. And we're already now getting the flashing for standard pressure and the new QNH 1011 at Heathrow. So we can go through the transition, get everything set up accordingly. We've got VOR 1 and 2 both active. They're tracking Bovingdon at the moment. They should auto-tune to Chiltern or London at some point soon. And if we want to, we can bring that range ring in a little bit more. And actually we can use the heading mode now to work round on ourselves out of Bovingdon. I'm going to go flaps 1 just to increase a bit of drag as well. And I'm going to work the turn tighter to get towards the approach a little bit quicker. We might get lucky with the cloud, hopefully, as we get back in. Pop LS on. Just make sure we've got approach mode activated. So far, very impressed. The software that's provided with the EFIS is straight out of the box. Plug and play with that SATA cable in the back, which I probably already spoke about in the video at the start. And the way it connects is quite easy, and depending on what your setup is, you can move those brackets at the back just to try and get your glare shield as kind of continuous as possible. I've got mine almost bang on there to like maybe like 0.5 millimeter. I'm quite happy with that. And the build quality is as good as the FCU, very good. So approach mode's now armed. There it is on the jets. FD, LS, we've done that with the EFIS. And if we want to, we can pop that onto ILS mode and watch the capture happen as well. We've already got flaps 1 ready, and we're going to have issues with contrast a little bit with the weather on our displays, but we'll just have to make do as best as we can. 180. Alright, last little bit then. And we're out of that cloud. Just turn a little bit of that brightness up. bits of rain. A little bit of drizzle shouldn't be an issue.
400. 400.
My controls. Lap 3, the approach. So I haven't tried this in the Phoenix A320 naturally because this is a little bit quicker for me to actually
40,
sort
30,
out and actually
20,
kind of
retard.
fly.
5.
Bit of a heavy one. I've got the Phoenix sensitivities at the moment on the flybywire, which is slightly different. Yeah, and as I was saying, this is a lot easier for me to kind of just jump into and fly without having to do too much fiddling around pre-flight. So it's easier for me to jump into and actually get a product review and first look completed. But there you have it. We can pop these modes back on if we want to. We can turn various things off like so. And then we'll configure all of our after landing checks. Hope you found the video useful. Share your thoughts down in the comments section below. Let us know what you think of the new WinWing EFIS. It will be releasing at some point in October, so keep an eye on the WinWing website for more details. But as always, thank you very much for flying along and watching, and I hope to see you join me in a live stream very soon. Take care.